Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How's everyone tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good day. So then, we are going to be taking a look at another book within the Cypher System range from Monte Cook Games. And this evening, we are taking a look at a campaign supplement, Predation, written by Shanna Germain. So this is, well, as you can see by the cover, it's all about dinosaurs, and what a great subject matter to deal with, hey? I don't believe we have dealt with a game that includes dinosaurs before, so here we go then. Now, of course, I do always say when we start one of these shows, I have been rediscovering role-playing games. I guess it's over the past year now, so I do not consider myself an expert. I played tabletop RPGs back in my college days with Dungeons and Dragons and the like, and as I say, I am now rediscovering all the many game systems that are available on the market. So if you do have any questions, please do put them into the chat or leave a comment on the video, and I will do my best to answer it for you. Alright then, let's jump to the table. So, here we go. This is Predation. As I say, it is a campaign supplement for the Cypher system from Monte Cook Games. Regulars to the channel will know we have been taking a look at all of the white books for the Cypher system. These are the books that introduce different genres, different themes to your Cypher system games. Of course, the Cypher system is theme agnostic. You can make it into any type of game you wish. These books, of course, provide all of the material to help you to do so. But this is a campaign setting, so it's effectively a sort of a leaping off point. Everything you need for a brand new unique setting is within this book, and it just so happens to be set in the Cretaceous period. So let's read the back of book text and just get a general feel for it. So then, welcome to the Cretaceous. Our ancestors won't climb down from the trees for another 66 million years, but here we are now. Coming back to the Cretaceous seemed like a good idea. Exploring, building, creating an entire society here in the jungles of our primordial Earth. Until those Sati guys messed it all up. We've got gear, we've got guns, we've even bioengineered a few dinos to our liking, and that's good because we'll need it all to survive. History says there's an asteroid heading our way, and there's no one left alive who knows how to get back to the future. What an interesting introduction. And our first viewer tonight, Grace, welcome. So first time I have made it to the live chat, but I have really enjoyed your reviews. I'm actually running Predation right now. It's so fun. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Grace, for joining us this evening. Okay, so this book includes a complete, ready-to-play science fiction game world for the Cypher system, and with a detailed history, scores of fascinating locations, new gear and technologies, and a variety of factions and conflicts to drive your story. More than 20 new creatures and NPC types. I'm going to get all of these names wrong, from the snuggly Nerezza to the unpredictable lab-grown Supersauri. Oh my gosh, here we go. Encounter Teslasaurus, cyber drones, and genetically engineered spiders, plus dinosaurs of all descriptions. New character types and abilities. Be a volcanic Khan who self-evolves, an empirical tech who plays God, or perhaps a daring Tetrix. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Who walks with dinosaurs. Rules for dinosaur companions. Choose a ceratopsian, a petrosaur, early mammal, or on for me. Oh gosh, see, you guys know how bad I am with names. Though of course you do know that I am very good at Elvish. Even a raptor or a tyrannosaur. You'll want their help and companionship as you explore the dangerous wilds of Cretaceous Grevakc. That's what I've been calling it, Grevakc. Sounds right to me. Alright, let's jump in. Of course, we're going to have some amazing artwork as we've become accustomed to with any of the Monte Cook Games books. And I guess it really does sort of help sort of get your mind into this sort of environment. I see dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are just, you know, just universally popular, aren't they? Everybody loves dinosaurs. I think it has something to do with the fact of it's one of the first things we learn about when we're kids, and we're just, our minds are blown. The idea that these huge creatures were on this planet millions and millions of years before we were, and so even when you are in adulthood, you still sort of remember back to dinosaurs and think, oh, that was really cool, and it sort of takes you back to your childhood. I think that's why we like them so much. And hence the popularity of, obviously, the Jurassic Park book and movies, and then any games that might feature them. We'll take a quick look at the credits here. Of course, lots of people contributing their artistic talents. And as I say, writer-designer Shanna Germain. What do we have? We have multiple parts. Part 1, getting started. Part 2, characters. Part 3, the setting. Part 4, creatures and NPCs. Part 5, the GM's toolbox. And Part 6, back matter. What I will do is I will stop going through the book where we get to points that we want to obviously remain a mystery. We don't want to ruin this for potential players that might be excited about their GM playing a game in this setting. So let's jump on in. So from the far future to the ancient past. So we have a little bit of text here that's just setting the scene for us. Again, you can, of course, get the PDF version of the book. I love all the little links in the margins here. As a PDF, you are able to jump to the appropriate pages really, really easily. So I always find that having the hardback book, but also having it on your tablet is incredibly handy. So the history of predation is actually in the future. A few hundred years in the future from where you sit now reading this book. That's when an interglobal conglomerate known as the Space and Time, INTG, what does INTG stand for? Began sending its first commuters, bioengineers and paleontologists and other specialists back to the late Cretaceous period on top secret missions. Hello Lostor, welcome, thanks for joining us. We're taking a look at Predation, which is a campaign supplement for the Cypher system. It's all about going back in time to the time of the dinosaurs. Space and time interglobal. Ah, okay, there we go. So basically, lots of people from the future go back in time and take all of their future tech. And ultimately, what happens is that suddenly they are not able to return back to what is their present, which is our future. And they have to then survive back in the past. It is an RPG. It's an RPG supplement. You need to have the Cypher system from Monte Cook Games, and then this is all of the setting, and it's an exciting setting. I actually was reading this while I was away on holiday. So once you're your player characters in the game basically are a couple of generations from the initial travelers who went back in time. So it's not as if your player characters know anything about the far future. They've grown up in this past setting, in this world that contains dinosaurs but also contains future tech. And this is what these initial sections start to explain. So we have some basics here. We talk a little bit about dinosaurs. As it says here, you might have already guessed that there are some dinosaurs in this game. Which is awesome. I like how these Monte Cook books really do just talk to the reader in a very, you know, one-to-one type of way. It's very good. Well, this is it, Lost Door, because it's a role-playing game. It's up to you what stories you want to tell. This book basically sets the scene for you. It is your guide for this entire world that your player characters are inhabiting. So as you say, you can go back to the dino times and need to live and survive there without any chance to go back. There is a possibility of going back. Maybe during the course of many adventures, you are able to discover what has gone wrong, because I'm just going to say, let's call it the time machine is no longer working. Something happened to disrupt the communications from the future, and you do not know, and you've not got anybody available at this time to be able to fix it. But there are those who may know what's happened, may have some idea. But that's for you to maybe discover as time goes on. There's a section here about companions. I mean, I think this is quite cool, is that you are able to adopt dino companions. Because, of course, if you come up against a large T-Rex in the wild, you're going to need some help. Then there are also time anomalies. No one really understands time anomalies, but the general consensus is they're either the result of the time travel itself or somehow related to the reason that time travel stopped working. And then, of course, we do have ciphers and artifacts and remnants. Anomalies. Yeah, as you see, even over time, I still haven't got any better. Okay, so we get a little bit of an introduction just to set the scene. Grace, you're saying you love that Monte Cook Games never says what happened. They give you an assortment of ideas. Yes, you're jumping ahead, but yes, absolutely. I think that's great because that allows the GM to craft the story that they want. When I was reading through this, it made me think of what I imagine, and I think it is the case, how television showrunners and novelists, they write a sort of a Bible, don't they, for their television show or for their novel that lays down all of the rules for that sort of world setting, and it gives the sort of the bare bones as to what is happening in the world, what has happened to various characters, where the actual story may go. And that's what this book is. It's everything you need to know, but then the stories you tell is up to the GM and the players. And that is what I really enjoy about this. This is all amazing ideas for a game set in a period of time back in our prehistoric history where there is dinosaurs, with a little bit of sci-fi thrown in and a bit of a conspiracy and maybe a little bit of a running against time. It's all here in this book. It's fertile ground for your imagination, because then it's for the GM to create their own stories within this setting, and that's what I really, really like about it. Good evening, Roger. Thanks for joining us this evening. We're just starting to take a look through Predation, which is a campaign setting for the Cypher system. And as you can see, it's got dinosaurs. So, again, because we're familiar with the Cypher system, it is going through here how we might create unique characters for this setting. And of course, the Cypher system, when you use a simple sentence to describe your character. So I am an adjective noun who verbs. So an example might be, I am a volcanic tech who plays God, or I am a savage Khan who evolves. We have a variety of skills here, which are more suitable for this particular setting. So we have animal husbandry, animal training, archaeology. Archaeology would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Bioengineering, cybernetics, dinosaur knowledge. So I guess that would be like paleontology, paleogeography, time I can't do it. Time anomalies. Oh, you know, I'll get there eventually. Character types. Okay, so we do have different kinds of character types now. And so here we go. In Predation, characters can choose from one of the following 4 character types: the Khan, the Tech. I'm gonna say it's Petrix. Osteon, an Osteon. Okay, so let's find out what these are. The Khans are the ultimate warriors of Grevakc. They're the ones you're most likely to see running straight into the T-Rex's maw, taking on multiple raptors in a single swing, or protecting their friends from an incoming attack. So the Khans are the warriors. It's a silent P, yeah, so it's Pteryx. It's like pterodactyl, isn't it, I guess? Or a gnome. Also called barbarians. Yes, well that's it. This is the good thing about it, is you can easily equate these character types. So your Khan is your warrior, your barbarian type, isn't it? Your hunters. And so we have lots of nice tables. We can have a background. Does somebody want to give me a number between 1 and 20? Let's find out what type of background our Khan might have. Khan! 13. You are raised within the Genix Fellowship and spent much of your early years studying with Adoni? Who's Adoni? With an Adoni. What's an Adoni? We have to go to page 120. See, again, I like all the little call-outs here so that we can find out. I have questions and there are answers. Okay, 18. Okay, so you're also an alternative background, as your sister is a well-respected medic in Kalino. You've had your differences, but you believe she'd be there for you if you needed her. I think Kalino is might be a town, a city, a region, but we will find out. We of course then have all of the details on building our Khan, our warrior, and the various abilities that we can use as we increase. So we then have our tech. So the tech type is built primarily using the adept type from the Cypher System Rulebook. So because Predation is not a world with traditional magic, a tech's abilities comes from some sort of combination of science and technology rather than from magical source. Bioengineering, cybernetics, gadgets, devices, far future weapons, time anomalies. I will get there. And other sources are all viable options. So if you're going to be a tech, what kind of technological source might you use? What would you guys in the chat choose? Let's have another number from 20, please. Someone in the chat. Let's see what other type of background this character might have. 17. Your grandmother was one of the original commuters, so she never talked about what she did for Sati, but before she died, she told you she kept a journal. You don't know where it is. That's cool. That's a nice little bit of a side story for that particular character, isn't it? Maybe you find this journal. Maybe there is a clue. Maybe your grandmother was quite high up in the organization. I do actually like the sort of conspiracy backstory that this setting has. All right, here we go. The Pterics. The Pterics are the discoverers, the explorers, the wanderers, the seekers of new adventures and new thrills. And so the Pterics is constructed primarily from the explorer type. So the Pterics gains the option to choose from most but not all of the explorer ability choices, plus some derived from select warrior abilities and flavors. I think this is typically the character that myself and Roger would go for. It's the effectively the ranger type of character, isn't it? Again, let's have a number from 1 to 20. 20, okay. You grew up inside a concrete and metal compound where you rarely saw the sun. Now you try not to go inside if you can help it. Or 12, somewhere there is another person who looks a lot like you. That person seems to owe a great deal of money to someone important. Ah, twins. There's a lot of twins things going on at the moment, isn't there? Okay, and then finally, Osteon, the bone reader, the soothsayer, the storyteller, the historian, the mystic, the heretic. These are just some of the many names for Osteons. So, the Osteon is constructed primarily from the speaker type. Again, let's just have one final number. Let's find another background. The sage, the mystic, the shaman, yes. Or just somebody who's good at the speaking sort of side of their characters, I guess. So your mother was obsessed with time and anomalies. You know, I'm sure this book is here to hate me. When you were young, the two of you travelled around in search of them. Oh, so that's it. That's interesting then. That would be an interesting background. Maybe, maybe your mother was lost to a time anomaly. Ah, okay. See, again, these are just jumping off points. These are for you. As you're creating your character, you can give yourself some wonderful backstory, can't you? Okay, so we go through, and that essentially takes us through the 4 character types. Of course, because we've spent time with the Cypher system, we're just learning how to adapt for the Predation campaign setting. So we then have a section now on character descriptors and focus, which of course are specific to this particular setting. And ultimately, you know, once you have this book, you could start including these into other games if they fit, if they are appropriate. So here we go. We got daring, empirical, savage, slick and volcanic. Most of the time, people describe you as quiet and calm, a strong and steady presence that draws no attention to itself. But in truth, you're just biding your time, conserving your energies, waiting for the perfect moment to take action. And when you act big, exploding into motion with power and grace. I like that. That's cool. Volcanic. That's a good one. So then we have our foci. Plays God. We mentioned that one earlier. We got quite a few here. Self-evolves. Predates. Walks with dinosaurs. So, Walks with Dinosaurs makes me think of the new Jurassic Park movies with the Chris Pratt character, who's able to sort of semi-tame, because I don't think you could ever truly tame a dinosaur, but at least, you know, at least they're not eating you. So you're not sure about other humans, but you and dinosaurs are like this. You just get them, and they seem to get you. Through training, technology, and an uncanny understanding, you can communicate with dinosaurs and get them to do your bidding. Far more than you can most people, and far more than most people can. When you go on a date in Dino Time, it's called Predate. Nice one, Lost Art. Nice one. Very good. I like this Walks with Dinosaurs. I think I would have that along with my Explorer type of character. What was the Explorer name? Because I've already forgotten. What was it? Where is it? The Teryx, wasn't it? So I'm going to be a Teryx that walks with dinosaurs. I think that'd be cool as a hunter. I think that would be pretty cool. Okay, so we then get to companions. Now this surely has got to be the coolest part. It really does, doesn't it? So all characters start with a level 2 creature companion. As part of character creation, you'll choose the type of companion you want your character to have, which will in turn provide your companion with stats such as health and armor. Choose a disposition that describes your companion and helps expand their personality. Alright, come on guys. Let's see what type of dino companions you might go for. Okay. So, here we go. Companion backgrounds. So again, we need to have a number from 1 to 20. Here we go. What size should your companion be? Some dinosaurs are large enough that they can't realistically follow you everywhere. A 40-foot, 12-meter Brachiosaurus won't fit through a tiny door or squeeze. I want to see a brachiosaur curled up around a fire like a dog. That'd be awesome. That'd be so good. Lost Us saying 11. Okay. So our brachiosaur used to work in a secret research facility. The conditions were so horrible that you and a few others tried to free the animals, but you were caught before you could execute your plan. Your companion was one of the only creatures that you were able to rescue from the facility. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So, details on aging and lifespan. Because dinos, you know, would of course could live quite long, couldn't they? Okay, here we go. So creating your companion. Companions are grouped into categories. Of course, think of those categories as companion types, as each one defines the core of who the dinosaur is and how they interact with the world and the creatures in it. All right. So we're just going to we'll go through then these main categories. Let's see what you guys would choose, okay? So we got the tyrannosaurs, the tyrant lizards. And it does give some examples. So depending on how knowledgeable you are of your dinosaur types, what do we have? We have Albertosaurus, Appalachiosaurus, and Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm assuming the Appalachiosaurus was found in the Appalachian region, the mountains, which of course we did look at another of Monte Cook's games, Old Gods of Appalachia. See, I can say that one now. It took me a while, but we got there in the end. We have the raptors, which are the running lizards. So of course we have the Velociraptor, the Utah raptor, Dakota raptor. We then have, oh gosh, see, here we go. Ornitformids, bird mimics, ornitformids. Yep, let's go with that. Yeah. I'm going to just describe them. These slender bipedal dinosaurs are speed demons able to hit at top velocities of up to 50 miles per hour. Unable to fly, they more closely resemble land-bound wingless birds like ostriches and emus. Okay. Oh gosh. Here we go. So it's not triceratops, ceratopsians, and ankylosaurus. So ceratopsians are horned faces, and ankylosaurus are Sherman tanks. Oh, there you go, Lost Door. You know those. You know them. Or you're reading the text, so you can automatically. I mean. Wasn't Triceratops always the coolest dinosaur? Triceratops or Stegosaurus with the big plates along its back. Then we have, so forget the P, Pterosaurus, toothless dragons, early mammals. So, what are you guys going for? What type? So, Lost or you'll say Pterosaurus. Which was the Pterosaurus? Oh, you're going to go for toothless dragons. You're already a step ahead of me. So, these are winged reptiles believed to be the first airborne vertebrates. The flying ones. That'd be cool. So that's a little bit. I like the idea, the image. We're going to go back to our hunter, aren't we? Because she's got one here. See, again, this is the great thing about it, is I like the idea of very, very colourful dinosaurs. And of course, we have since discovered that dinosaurs potentially had lots of feathers, because of course birds are descendants from dinosaurs. So having wonderfully colourful plumages, I think that'd be quite cool. Again, we have lots of feathers here. Proto parrots, yes, yeah. So it doesn't have to be, dull lizard greens. We can have some very bright colours. But then they're saying that though, lizards can actually be very, very colourful as well, can't they? Yeah, I like the idea of the of a little sort of pterodactyl type of companion. Raptors could be quite cool because maybe you could get a saddle and you could actually ride it. So that could be quite cool. At least the raptors would be relatively quick. Obviously, Triceratops would be a big, lumbering kind of beast, wouldn't it? And so then we have a whole load of companion abilities. Bird's Eye, Bone Breaker, Flight Not Fight, Masterful Attack, Rip and Tear, Stampede. Oh, here we go. Sturdy Mount. Your companion is trained, equipped, and if necessary, enhanced in some way so that they can carry up to 2 riders. So, companion dispositions. What type of disposition is our companion going to have? Clever, clumsy, curious, flashy, intimidating, sociable, timid, vigilant. That's interesting. And again, you know, you could adapt this. You don't necessarily have to have your... Well, here we go. Your raptors. Clever girl. Yeah. Flying and clumsy does not sound great, but it would be comedic. I like the idea of a flying and clumsy companion. That'd be a lot of fun. Oh, Grace, you just there. Clever reminds me of Jurassic Park. Clever girl. Yep, absolutely. Again, this is a good thing about this setting, isn't it? Is that most people probably have watched a Jurassic Park movie that might be sat around your table, and so you don't really need to explain a huge amount because they can already, in their mind's eye, they're already seeing scenes from the film, so they understand, you know, for the most part, what these dinos look like. It really helps when, you know, your players already have a good idea. Equipment. So remember, we of course, it's going to be a little bit of a mix here, isn't it? Because we are in the past. We are 65 million years in the past. But of course, we took technology from the future. Thing is, that future technology might be getting to a point where some of it works and some of it's not. Some of it's less reliable because, of course, we're not getting any equipment uploads from the future, nor do we necessarily have the materials to be able to fix it, depending where we are. So we're having to adapt local materials to actually serve a purpose. And so that's where we can start seeing different kinds of weapons and materials from different sort of age, let's put it like. So we have light hides, furs and leathers, but then we have light smart fluid armor. So we have the sort of the prehistoric and we have the futuristic, which would make for a very interesting look to our characters. There's no coal yet. There's definitely no coal and there's no oil. We've got to wait a long time for those. What do we have? We have a heavy crossbow and we have a solar chainsaw. See, it's quite cool. So, climbing gear, a dinosaur bag. Unhatched dinosaur egg? Goodness. Okay, so far we've had a bit of an introduction. We've been able to create our character that's unique to this setting. we have been able to create a dinosaur companion. All right. Now we're going to move on. This is the actual setting itself. And I just want to double check, because I don't want to, as I say, ruin anything. I believe that this area we can actually go through. Because, of course, as the player characters, we have lived in the far past all of our lives. We don't know the future. The future is effectively in our sort of history books, which really messes with your mind, doesn't it? But the future is your history, but you are in the past, which is a cool setting. And it goes through a lot of detail here, and this is a wonderful read. It really is. It's a lot of imagination's gone on into this, a lot of research. So here we go. Grevakc. Yeah, Grevakc is Earth, but Earth as it was 65 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period, when dinosaurs still roamed the Earth before an approaching asteroid wiped out much of life on the planet. But of course, it's not the exact same, because there are humans, and humans who have inhabited the land for at least the last 100 years plus. So somewhere in Earth's future, in the year 28, in the interglobal time, the first commuters arrived in the Cretaceous, thanks to the time travel technologies of a large conglomerate called Space and Time Interglobal. It's widely believed that the time travel program was one of the first of its kind, a top secret mission called the Grevakcian Sea Trials. In the 9 years that the mission was active, an estimated that SATI sent more than 20,000 adult commuters, namely scientists, scholars, soldiers, and service workers, back to the Cretaceous. Some workers were able to travel back home occasionally on leave as their schedule and duties allowed. What was SATI's purpose with the Grevakcian Sea Trials? Were they searching for something? Did they hope to make contact with alien life? Was it merely an experiment on humanity? Almost everyone you talk to believes something different. Even those who are high up in SATI ranks have different stories and hypotheses about the project's real goal. So, just 9 years after the Grevakcian Sea Trials began, in 37 IGT, time travel abruptly stopped working, trapping all of the commuters in the Cretaceous. Those who lived through the event named it the Great Howling, after the sound the machines made as they simultaneously self-destructed, bringing down everything that was in the vicinity. So with communication from the far future cut off, it was impossible to discern what exactly had happened. Did SATI higher-ups deem the Grevakcian Sea Trials a failure and close them off from the safety of the future? Did time travel stop working for some reason unknown to either side? Was some other force at work? Can time travel be opened back up somehow, allowing people to get back home? Those are questions people are still trying to answer to this day, perhaps even more so as the possibly mythical life-destroying asteroid looms just off the literal horizon. See, that's really cool. I like it. I really like it. And the great thing about this supplement is it gives you ideas as to what, as a GM, you might want the story to be, but it doesn't set it in stone. It's absolutely up to the GM to determine how and where they want their story to go. And you could continue playing in this game world for many sessions, because there is so much information included. So, gosh, I mean, where do you start? It talks about where the actual game takes place, which is in 2 large continents. And we'll see a map of that in a second. Tells us a little bit about the people of Grevakc, typical lifespan, what living is like, family life with children, death and dying, structure and leadership, groups and organizations and religions, languages, literacy and education, telling the time. So it's just so much info. It's great. Grace, Shanna is such a good author. I like her words. The best of the Monte Cook Games crowd. Monte Cook and Bruce have the best imaginations, and Sean K. Reynolds is the rules maestro. Well, if you've been reading or watching, the white books that we've been going through, of course, you'll have seen their work across all of those. I mean, those books are phenomenal. They are really, really good. And as we've said on all the shows, even if you are not necessarily a player of the Cypher system, they are very, very useful source books to have to grab ideas and inspiration for other game systems. So they are a welcome addition to anybody's RPG library for sure. So here we go. This is the primordial Earth, the world map that we are actually in, but this is only a small section, and effectively it is what will sort of coalesce as North America, I guess, isn't it? Because there we go, we got Appalachia and La Amida, La Amidi. Yeah, it's that bit there. It's California. California. Also saying Defo looks like America. Yeah, for sure. So, climate and weather. Oh, we got a little bit of information about the time anomalies and time terrors. Ooh. We won't go into that too much. So, we're now getting information on these two continents. And again, it splits this area down into various cities and outposts that have been constructed, various regions, and we get these great maps. And you know, you could actually spend a lot of your time with your players actually just in one of the cities. There's so much that you could do. I always feel that when we look through some of these books that you always want to explore beyond, but actually exploring in an entire city, having the city as being your entire game's location, and that the city services everything you're doing within the game, I think that's something that we haven't really focused in on when we've been exploring campaign supplements or expansions, and that's something that we will be taking a look at in the future. I do actually have a wonderful setting that is all within one city. So be sure to keep an eye on social media for when we start talking about that, because I think you'll be quite surprised. So again, there's just so much information. And as I say, this is all so that the GM can actually have some background to refer to, so that they can craft their own adventure. But it's just a really good read. I've just described... Is that Tolus? Have we gone past that, or is that in... Because this is... Calino. Ah, Calino. Is that was the city that one of our backgrounds referred to. I'm trying not to focus in on anything too much here, even though you can see some of the details of things that are there. let's so it's the #1 city in the campaign book. Okay, we will get to that then, won't we? But here we go. There's a section here on holidays, festivals, and events. You know, all this information makes the world a living, breathing place, doesn't it? And so this sort of section of the continent is the one where there is mostly the human inhabitants. And then we have something here, the astral caverns. So we do have some sections underground. Sati bunkers. Okay. Good evening, Jason. Thank you for joining us. Ah, so it's a separate Monte Cook game. Right. Oh, I think I know the one you're referring to. I think I know the one. Hopefully, maybe at some point we'll get to take a look. Again, there's just so much. So here we go. So we go over to the other continent, which is Appalachia. See, I can do this one. And so we have a little map here, which indicates some cities, and bunkers, and special locations. I got the impression this is a little bit wilder than the other location. So this is more dinosaurs. But again, you know, reading through this makes me think of, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, is it Ray Bradbury's, is it Sound of Thunder? You guys must be familiar with that short story. Ah, Jason, yes, would be interesting to wrap in some time warps and portals that bring you in and out of the old gods of Appalachia, yes. Well, we were looking through one of our characters' backgrounds, and potentially one of our parents was lost to a time anomaly. Where did that parent go? Where did that portal lead to? Because if our time travel's not working, the technological side, but maybe these rips in the fabric of time, maybe there's something there. I think, again, there's so much fun. Oh, look, here we go. Butterflies. You see? Sound of Thunder. Here we go. We got the butterflies happening. I like this artwork. I like this style. This is cool. So we had a little bit, there's just a little bit there about groups and organizations. So we got the Sati, who are the time travel organization. We have the butterflies. And then the Gen X Fellowship. We've always got to have all the factions, don't we? So, creatures and NPCs. What type of creatures are we going to find? There is... Oh, see, look at this. This is what we want. Now, this is the bit... This is the... You know, it's personal preference. It's personal preference. This is the bit that I'm kind of like in two minds about. I think if I was going to play this game, I want my dinos to just be dinos and not necessarily to have all this mechanized elements to them. So I think what I might do is, because again, totally up to your GM, isn't it? I would like to set my game at the early part of when the commuters went back. So it's the initial having to tame some of these dinosaurs. Maybe it's within the first 50 or so years where they've not quite necessarily got all the technology to be able to have them all tamed. Maybe it's a case of it's the initial setting up of the cities, but the dinosaurs are always trying to push on in, trying to eat them. I think that would actually be quite a cool setting, and it could evolve into this later, because again, you could be playing this game for ages, couldn't you? There is a long period of time before that asteroid turns up. So Jason's saying it feels too much like the Ark game, so I would agree with you. Less tech and more dino training and use. Yeah, I like the idea of dinos being a constant threat. I think I like the humans to be on the back foot just a little bit. Dinosaurs should be terrifying, shouldn't they? But still to have, maybe you have been able to tame a few, but it's in the early stages. Early stages of it. So we're going through here, we have our various creatures. Again, as I say, the great thing about it is this is all jumping off points, you can make this whatever you want it to be. Agro-raptors. So they do have collars to the raptors, and that's how you're obviously able to control them. I'd like to get to... I'd have a point prior to this. If you have a massive turtle and some flyers, you are the owner of an aircraft carrier. Yes, for sure. See, here we go. So cyber drones. That's interesting. There was a television series, wasn't there? Do you guys remember it? And it's effectively a similar sort of setting where people from the future go back in time and get stuck. I think it's oldish now. 10, 15 years, maybe, something like that. I can't remember its name. And there have been plenty of video games, haven't there? With dinosaurs. I remember a game a little bit like Command and Conquer or Warcraft, where you would build up your forces, build up your little encampment, and ultimately build up your dinosaurs would be your tanks. Primeval, there we go. There we go, that's the one. So again, you might be able to get some clips off YouTube to be able to help explain to your players. A pygmy Sauroposeidon. So, as opposed to the 100 feet one, we get a pygmy sized one. Oh, Terra Nova. Terra Nova, that might be the one. That might be the one. Supersauri are composite creatures that were created from a genetic material of any number of sauri. Gigantosaurus. Oh gosh. So this is a hybrid. This is a mutated form of dinosaur. Yeah. NPCs. There are butterflies and satay. Definitely a sort of a peanutty chili type of guard. Satay sauce guards. And then a silverback. Silverbacks are so named because they are considered to be the leaders of their respective packs. Silverbacks are typically humans who have undergone some form of predaceous changes to become more dinosaur-like. That's strange and weird. So that, I'm not going to go any further because we're into the GM's toolbox. And I think this needs to stay for the GM to be able to look through and give them all the tools they need to produce a really, really good adventure for their players. I don't think... Yeah. Let me just have a quick look. Just to see if there's anything. There is an adventure at the back here. Yeah, we're not going to venture past this point because we don't want to ruin the game. But hopefully that gives you a good idea of just how much wonderful information is contained within. There is so much. So there we go. I think, yes, Calaino is the main city. Have you done a GM special covering different genres? Yes, if you go through all of the channel's videos, you will see that we've covered pretty much all of the Monte Cook Games Cypher System white books. So you can check all of those out. This is the first of the campaign supplements that we've taken a look at. I love this. I think this is really, really cool. Obviously, it's dinosaurs. So for me, that is an instant hit straight away. I think I've already shared my personal preference on how I'd like to set my game up. But of course, each to their own on that. But certainly... it has all the tools you need. It has a great setting. There's enough story hooks in there to go off in different tangents as far as what were the causes behind why the time travel stopped working. Are your players ever going to be able to fix it? Or are they permanently stuck back in the past? Right? But plenty of scope there. Just doing it for you guys, a quick tease. In the coming weeks, we'll take a look at another of my personal sort of genre favourites. And that is, we're going to be looking at Gods of the Fall. So we're looking at a little bit of mythology, which is one of my... sort of favourite things. So looking forward to sharing that one with you. This is rather cool. I like it a lot. And then following on from that, we're going to take a look at the weird. And as Grace points out, there is a new white book coming this month, It's Just Magic. I was fortunate enough to take a look at It's Just Magic during the UK Games Expo a couple of weeks ago. So yes, I've had a flick through. If you go on to the channel's social media, you'll see a few photos that I was able to snap quickly whilst I was there. So we're going to be taking a look at these in the next couple of weeks. The Weird did pick up an award during the UK Games Expo, so you'll be able to see that it justly deserved that award when we go and have a flick through. Jason, awesome. I'll have to check. Loved your review on their horror books. Oh, excellent. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, go and take a look. We have pretty much covered everything. And of course, we will take a look at It's Just Magic when it is released. So, yes, we've done the whole lot. What was it? God Forsaken, Stay Alive, We Are All Mad Here, The Stars Are Fire, Claim the Sky, and Rust and Redemption. As I look down in the library. So there we go, guys. I hope that that's given you a good idea as to what Predation could potentially offer for your players. I hope it would give you lots of ideas for the types of adventures or encounters that they may face. And I hope you're as excited about including dinosaurs in your games as I am. Okay, so next week I can tell you that on Tuesday we're going to be playing a game. We are going to play a card game called Undermined Paradise City. This is sort of prospecting and mining in America. I guess it's what, late 1800s-ish, maybe? Something like that. The gold rush. That's what we're doing. So if you guys want to join in, I will need another player. So by all means, the chat, you can instruct me what to do for you guys. And let's have a check out this game. It was released at the UK Games Expo. So I'm looking forward to being able to share it with you and get you guys involved. It's always good fun when we get to play a game live on the channel. So there we go. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me and contributing as we've taken a look through Predation from Monte Cook Games. And look forward to seeing you next week. But until then, bye for now.